Hello and welcome to New Wave Global. This is Unraveled and I'm your host, Marvi Sirmed. Yesterday, August 11th, something happened on the streets of Delhi that until recently many would have thought impossible in world's largest democracy. The leader of the opposition, Rahul Gandhi, was detained, along with Priyanka Gandhi, uh, Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge, Samajwadi Party's Akhilesh Yadav, Shiv Sena's Sanjay Raut, and dozens of others, major opposition leaders in India. These were not violent protesters, they were members of parliament marching peacefully to the Election Commission of India to deliver a memorandum. The reason? Allegations of voter list manipulation, voter suppression, and outright vote fraud. For anyone watching South Asia closely, this might feel eerily familiar. Arresting opposition leaders, disputes over electoral rolls, accusations of collusion between election authorities and ruling parties. We have seen this playbook in Pakistan, in Bangladesh, and even in Sri Lanka. But to see it in India, a country long hailed as the region's shining star of democracy, is really a sobering reminder. Democracy here too is sliding backwards. The flashpoint is something called the Special Intensive Revision or SIR of Bihar's electoral rolls, as we covered in a past episode as well. In principle, the election commission does this to clean the lists, remove duplicates, for example, names of the deceased, ineligible voters, and adding new ones. But this time, the rules are different. The SIR requires documents that exclude widely used IDs like Aadhaar and ration cards. Now, these are the same IDs that are accepted by the government to prove eligibility for receiving social safety net schemes. Now, critics warn that this will hit the poorest and most marginalized communities the hardest. Dalits, Adivasis, Muslims, migrant workers, internal migrant workers, people less likely to have passports, land deeds, or the paperwork now demanded of them. And the timing, right in the middle of the monsoon, with Bihar's assembly elections just months away. Opposition parties see this as deliberate, a way to shrink the voter base before polling day. Now, the numbers tell their own story. The opposition claims around 6.5 million names have already been removed from Bihar's draft rolls. The Supreme Court of India has stepped in, asking the Election Commission to explain. Now, the ECI says it is not legally required to publish reasons for deletions or a separate list of excluded voters, though it insists that individuals can file claims and objections. Anomalies have already surfaced. Nearly 300,000 voters in the rolls have their house numbers listed as 0 or 00000. And while the ECI says it has received around 160,000 claims and objections, none of the parties, not even those protesting the loudest, have yet formally challenged the deletions themselves. This gap between the rhetoric and formal action is one reason some analysts are cautious in their conclusions. Then came Rahul Gandhi's press conference on August the 7th, and with it, some of the most serious allegations ever leveled at the Election Commission of India. He accused the ECI of colluding with the ruling Bharatiya Janata Party BJP to steal over 100,000 votes in Bengaluru's Mahadevpura constituency, just one constituency. In a fancy PowerPoint, Rahul Gandhi showed that uh, he called it Commission's own data. Now he showed that data, filled with duplicate entries, fake addresses, and mismatched photos. And then he demanded that the ECI release the full electronic voter list and CCTV footage from the verification process. The ECI's response was blunt: either sign a sworn affidavit confirming your claims or apologize to the nation. Rahul refuses, saying, "Why should I sign? This is their data, not mine." This fight is about the constitution, he says, about one person, one vote that India follows. Fast forward to the morning of August the 11th, yesterday. Nearly 300 India bloc parliamentarians, a cleverly chosen name for the opposition alliance, which is the acronym of Indian National Developmental Inclusive Alliance, INDIA. So 300 MPs belonging to different parties of this alliance, INDIA India, set off from Parliament heading towards the ECI. The plan was simple: deliver a memorandum calling for SIR to be suspended in its current form. But they never got there. At Transport Bhavan, which is another government building less than a mile from ECI, police barricades went up. Akhilesh Yadav, the leader of the Samajwadi Party, climbed over them, and the visuals were seen all over India. An MP from Trinamool Congress fainted in the heat, and one by one, leaders were rounded up, taken away in police buses. They were released after a few hours, but the symbolism is powerful. Detaining opposition leaders for marching to the country's top election body is something we expect in struggling democracy. I mean, um, like neighboring Pakistan, like neighboring Bangladesh. For decades, India has stood apart from that pattern. Yesterday, it could not. It did not. This is where the unease runs deeper than the day's headlines. For decades, India's election commission was the gold standard in the region, fiercely independent, scrupulously neutral, and respected even by those who lost elections. In Pakistan and Bangladesh, the election commission is often seen as the extension of whoever holds power. In Sri Lanka, the debate over election integrity is a usual part of a broader political crisis. But in India, the EC's credibility was once its strongest asset. That's why many senior journalists in India, even those who oppose the government, have been cautious in reporting these allegations. They fear that even discussing them might shatter the Commission's hard earned reputation. Yet, democracy doesn't survive by avoiding uncomfortable questions, it survives by confronting them. So, here we are: detentions of opposition leaders, serious allegations of voter list manipulation, questions over the neutrality of the Election Commission of India. Whether you believe the SIR is an overdue cleanup or a targeted clean out, this much is clear: the health of a democracy is measured not just by the fairness of its elections, but by the public's trust in those who run them, who hold them. And once that trust is gone, in India, in Pakistan, in Bangladesh, anywhere, the damage is not easily undone. I'll leave you with this. Is South Asia entering an era where no election is beyond suspicion? Or can India still prove it is different? Tell me in the comments. Subscribe if you want to keep this conversation alive. And share this video with your networks and your friends and your family, so these questions don't disappear with the next news cycle. I'm Marvi Sirmed. This is Unraveled. Have a good one.